Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman Khan. We're here at the Coventry Stadium with the one and only Adam Smith, who's been doing a couple of bits of jobs for Boxing Social. You'll be looking forward to the interviews. See those.
Helped you out, Ayman.
That's exactly what it is. Thank you so much for that, Adam. But let's jump straight into it. Boxer tournament, a lot of variety on this tournament, and a platform or a tournament which is popular with the fans.
It's very popular with the fans because, as you can hear, the drums. Drums. Very good. There we are. Well, that's better than me talking. That's fantastic.
You tried the microphone. How about the drums this time, Adam?
I don't know. I actually did play the drums once upon a time, but that was a long time ago. So we're not going to get a repeat of that, and certainly not those drums. But yeah, I hear that the Chima Ring Walk's going to be pretty good on Saturday night. It's a fantastic tournament. Ben Shalom and Boxer's idea, and the series is great. It was good before it came onto Sky, and now we've got hold of it, and we're putting our sprinkling on as well of Stardust, our creative minds working together with Boxer, which is fantastic. I thought the Liverpool super lightweight tournament was great. I said to Ben, we've got to get another one out, and now he's given us two. So we've got the lightweights here, and then the cruiserweights in Manchester in a few weeks' time. And yeah, I think it's just a really fun format. It's terrific for if you're sitting at home and you might not know the names straight away, but you see the colours and you go for one of them, and they're all good young fighters who've got a chance, plenty of unbeaten talent, and what an opportunity for one of them to go on and win a lot of money, and maybe get a signing with Boxer and a chance to be on Sky more regularly. I think it's a fantastic idea. It's a great way to support the grassroots clubs and the fighters that maybe haven't had those chances before, and now they do. And just been speaking to all 8 of them, and they're so up for it. They've trained really, really hard. They're all utterly convinced they're going to win, and only one will. But they'll all have a great time, I think, on Saturday, and I think they'll be able to showcase their skills, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of stories and ups and downs on the night.
Speaking of the fighters, a lot of variety in terms of the fighters, some undefeated, some more experienced than others, some packing power, some boxers there, but all of them have an opportunity to seize what is a big opportunity for them at the weekend.
Yeah, it's carpe diem, isn't it? Seize the day. It's a fantastic chance that maybe some of them never thought would come, even as they start out their careers on maybe the smaller hall shows. Ryland Charlton, for example. Drums going, hey, there we go. We're never going to get through this. Where were we? I think that, Ryland Charlton, for example, has been on our shows before, and we know what he's about, the pint-sized powerhouse, but some of them maybe you haven't heard of. Tion Gibbs is a good story. Corey obviously won in Liverpool. Can his brother make it double for the family? And plenty of unbeatens, as you said. Scott Melvin's interesting, former English amateur as well. Otis, lights out from Nottingham. I like him as well. He's not as well known, and he's only had one professional fight, but there's some that are going to come and have a real tear up, and there's others who are going to try and glide their way through it. So it should make for some really engaging mixes, put all the ingredients in the pot. And I think it just means so much to them that they have this chance to fight on a Boxer show, on a Sky Sports Saturday night. It's fantastic for them, and it's a really good concept. And I hope that the one in Coventry, if it's half as good as the one in Liverpool, will be happy, but I think this could be even better.
It's something that's important to you as a person who's been in the game for a long time to, like you mentioned, not all these names are known, but it's an opportunity given to them. Is that something that you've kind of pushed for to get these shows out there?
I think it's really important, isn't it? Obviously, we all love world title fights, and there's none bigger than Anthony Joshua Usyk, or next week with Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. But of course that there's really good fights at all levels in the sport, whether it's sort of southern area, whether it's for the Lonsdale belt, how many crackers have we seen for the British title. But also I think, especially with the pandemic, I think Ben feels very strongly, so do we at Sky, it's held up a lot of fighters' careers, and some were lucky enough to get on those closed shows the bigger ones that we did with Matchroom and Frank Warren did and others, we had to innovate, we had to carry on. But a lot of the small hall promoters, got forgotten about, and it was really difficult to get their fighters up and running. So there's been a lot of stories where we had one of the Koch brothers fighting in Newcastle the other week. He hadn't fought for 3 years, and he's a real hot prospect. So it's really tough. And I think 6 of these are unbeaten. So you see that they've not had their opportunity to shine under the lights, and this is their chance. So it's wonderful for grassroots. It's wonderful to say, right, not only are we going to go for the domestic champions or the Olympic gold medalists, but we're going to give everybody a shot. Every few weeks we'll put a tournament show on at different weights, and you've got the chance. Then it's up to you. You go out there, and if you can perform, I don't think it'll just be the winner on Saturday night. If you could show us something a bit different, we might say, hey, we'll have you again. We like the look of you. And I think Ben and I will be looking for that on Saturday. So, yeah, really exciting.
Sticking to a couple of things in the wider boxing sphere, but sticking with Sky, you had the 2 signings in Lauren and Karen recently. Any new signings from Sky that we can expect to be announced soon, Adam?
Wait and see, I think, is probably the answer to that. We're always looking to quality. We're always looking to the stable. But we've come from last summer where we didn't have any fighters, or Ben had a few sort of on the boxer books, but Sky obviously lost the stable to Matchroom. Eddie took his fighters to DAZN. We had to rebuild, we had to go again, which is what we did. We've been pretty selective with who we've brought on, men and women. We're delighted with who we've got so far. I mean, look at the Olympians we've signed. Fraser Clark, captain of Team GB. Caroline Dubois, I think is going to be sensational through the professional ranks. I was particularly pleased, as I think you know, about the double signing of Lauren and Karis. I told Ben I wanted them from day dot. I think they're a fantastic advert. They're a great power couple, an Olympic gold medalist. I think Lauren is one of the best female fighters we've ever seen. And I think Karis has got all the charisma and the power as well. She's going to be in such exciting fights. So that's a great story. But we'll be looking to add to that if and when the time allows us to. But at the moment, we've got a really good, strong, different stable. And maybe one of these 8 that's sitting alongside us now can join us on Sunday morning. Let's see what Saturday brings, but we're always on the lookout for talent, for quality, and different stories as well. You don't have to be a world beater. You don't have to become a European champion. It might be you're going to be a domestic belt holder, but we're going to give people opportunities to shine.
Just picking that back up there as we were getting ready for the Boxer Live tournament. With me is one and only, once again, Adam Smith. Adam, we were talking about, I think, last signings for Boxer. Kell Brook, any closer to signing with Boxer and Sky Sports? Is there any movement of where Kell Brook's future will be?
Well, first of all, it's nice that the drums have quietened down. They were great, though, weren't they? A little bit of peace for a while. They'll be back Saturday night, though. Kell I've seen regularly at shows. He seems to have been on cloud 9, cloud 12, cloud 15, and probably still on cloud something at the moment. So really just enjoying his win over Amir Khan. I mean, it was so long in the making, and he was so good on the night that I think it's we've sort of let him be. I think it's he's got to make the decision now whether he wants to fight on, and if he does, we'd love to have him back on Sky. Whether that is a fight that's been muted against Chris Eubank Jr., if they can agree on weight and money, or whether that's another fight. I don't know whether he, fancies someone like a Danny Garcia, or I don't know. It's interesting one, and Conor Benn fights this weekend, and Amir Khan wants to fight again. There's a lot of them in the mix. Let's see where all the sort of balls land. I mean, it's up to Kell, really. If he goes out now, he'll go out on top in a way, won't he? So that's another alternative. But also, he rolled back the years, and he probably was really pleased with his performance. He might want to have another go 2 or 3 more times, maybe, and that's probably big money for him. So, yeah, let's see where we are with Kell, but nothing to report at the moment.
Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte, the big fight. Yeah. Looks like Dillian Whyte's broke his silence now and will be coming to the party, as it were. First of all, your reaction to that?
Yeah, I was speaking to Dillian's team, and also spoke to Top Rank, and been messaging Tyson as well. So look, I think sense has sort of prevailed. I mean, there was obviously some back and forth, and people weren't happy with certain things. I haven't been involved in the fight, so I'm not quite sure contractually, but ultimately they have a fight on next week. The most important thing is that both of them are there. They will be for the final week. It's It's a serious fight in the heavyweight division. Dillian's been waiting for this opportunity for some years. We've had some great nights with him, really enjoyed it. And I'll be very interested to see if he can topple the leading heavyweight in the world in Tyson Fury. We've obviously got Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua to come at some point later on in the summer. But it's a big fight at Wembley Stadium. And although BT Sport Box Office are producing it all, we'll be there with the Sky Sports News cameras, and I know Top Rank and ESPN will be there, and it will be a good event to be around. It's a big fight, and two Brits back at the stadium, record crowd we hear, fantastic job Frank Warren's done with that, and looking forward to fight week.
Interesting tidbit about the fight in the lead up to it was that a higher pay-per-view price point was discussed. It was on the table. Hasn't gone through with that. It's at the pay-per-view price point that it is at now. I just want your thoughts on that. The potential, does that fight warrant that? And could we potentially see a pay-per-view price increase in the future, Adam?
Well, that's a question you have to ask to BT. It's not our fight, so I don't know whether it's merited or. I mean, ultimately, these things are looked at behind the scenes. I know at Sky they are, and there's a great deal of thought that goes into these decisions. So I'm sure BT decided what they thought was right, and they've gone with that. So I guess the proof is in how many buys they do, and ultimately, we all want everybody to see everything, don't we? We want access to fights. We want to see the big fights, but there's so much money involved in the top fights, as we know from our box office experience over the last 25 years or so, that it's tough, and often you have to put a price on it, and you see the reaction, and if you put a big fight on, people want to watch it, and obviously the most important thing is that the fighters get paid as much money as possible for what they're putting on the line, and huge world heavyweight title fights, as you and I know, are not cheap. So, but that's a question for BT.
Speaking of fighters that want to be paid, the site fee being sought for Usyk-AJ2, Saudi Arabia being in the pot there. You've been someone who said you want to see it at the Tottenham Stadium again. What are your thoughts about Saudi Arabia potentially landing the big rematch there?
Well, we'll just wait and see what happens. At the moment, we don't even know a date. We don't even know. We think they're fighting each other, but I think I've heard. I think Frank Smith said that in the next 10 days, 2 weeks, things will come together. Obviously, our attention has all been on the Ukraine situation and Alexander Usyk, and he was on the front line with Vasily and with Vitaly and Vladimir, and he's decided, we believe now, although I haven't spoken to Alexander or Alex recently, that he's going to fight AJ. It's going to happen. So let's just see what does happen. I would love to have had it in London. I think with Wembley next week and the Tottenham Stadium, which went so well last time, not for Anthony Joshua and his performance, but for the whole event, was phenomenal. It's an incredible stadium, and I'd love to have seen the rematch there. But if the fighters and the media have to travel, we have to travel. So let's see where it lands, and we go from there. And at the moment, we don't have a contract with Anthony Joshua, so we're out of contract, as you know. I'm very confident that will all happen in time, and we'll work together with him. But at the moment, lots of plates, balls in the air, and let's see where they all land. But I expect Usyk and AJ to meet at some point in the summer, and hopefully we'll be broadcasting it.
Alongside what is a feast of boxing available at the weekend is a brilliant fight, welterweight unification clash, Spence Ugas. I was just wondering, that fight was available to be bought, I suppose, or bid for in the UK. Was Sky potentially interested in bidding for that? Do you know? It's landed on Fight TV, Spence Ugas.
We're always interested in great fights around the world. As I've said before, you can't have every sweet in the jar. There are finances, it's a business, and we've got our deals. Our deals are with Boxer. A 4-year deal, and same with Top Rank. Doesn't mean they can't work with others. We've seen that with Wasserman working with Chris Eubank's situation. We've seen it with Dimitri Salita working with Clarissa Shields. So ultimately, anything's possible, and it's we look at all these fights. Of course we do, but sometimes it's a case of money. Sometimes it's a case of scheduling. And sometimes it's a case of our relationships we already have, and that's obviously our big priority is Boxer and Top Rank. And we just had Michaela on last weekend in her fantastic win from Top Rank. We've got a big night in Coventry this week for Boxer. Many good things to come, believe me, in May and June, especially June, which I think is going to be very heavy from both sides of the pond. And But yeah, it's a great fight. Errol Spence is one of the pound for pound kings. I love Errol. You know, we're lucky enough to work with each other a great deal. Back in the earlier days, I saw a lot of Errol in America, and then obviously we worked together on the Kell Brook fight. He's a fantastic fighter, and against Ugas, it's a serious test, and I'm really looking forward to it. So unfortunately, we're not broadcasting this one, but we'll be tuning in like you will.
Final point on that one, does the top rank deal allow you to, is it exclusive, or are you allowed to bid for extraneous fights should you want to with Sky?
We look at every situation and we discuss it with our partners, and we will make decisions whether we think it's right or wrong. At the moment, as I said, our relationships and partnerships are with Boxer and with Top Rank. So obviously Top Rank have an incredible global outfit, a fantastic stable. We don't have the Tyson Fury deal, that's with BT. But we've got a huge deal with Top Rank, so that's our priority globally. Our priority in the UK is Boxer. But of course, as I've said, we've worked alongside with Calais and Nisse for Chris Eubank. But Ben and I are trying to build a stable here for Boxer in the UK, hitting the sort of 9:30, 10 o'clock peak spots in the UK audience. And some of the fights that obviously come in the early hours of the morning don't get the viewing figures that you would on a Saturday night off the back of football. That's obvious, but it's important for our business to have a cross section of grassroots like we're having with the tournament shows this Saturday, the big world title fights that we're getting on both sides of the pond, and also other internationals. So we've got a very good relationship with Araceli Villas, who works with BBC, and we talk regularly about what's coming up, and we go back and we discuss. But as I said, our priorities are with our existing relationships, which are obviously Boxer and Top Rank. So, but anything else that comes in, we look at and we'll assess.
Final thing from me, Adam, bringing it back to the card, with a number of options available for boxing fans to watch this weekend, why should everyone tune in to watch Sky Sports and Boxer?
Well, I wish you could watch everything. I want to. I said in another interview, as soon as Richard Riakporhe got through Dion Juma the other night, I was trying to find the Josh Warrington fight. It's difficult. None of us like clashes. I know Eddie and Frank don't. I know Frank Warren doesn't. It's not easy. But ultimately, venues have to be booked. You need time to sell a show, and also scheduling as well is important. So sometimes clashes, unfortunately, are inevitable. Why should they watch Boxer and Sky Sports? Because it's going to be the best night. It's going to be a thrilling 3-hour, very fast and furious, entertaining, high-octane action. We don't know who's going to win. 8 start, 1 finishes. It's just a great night. It's a great night for the casual fans, maybe who've watched some football or watched another sport, and they can watch a bit of boxing. They may not have heard of all these guys, but they will by the end of the night, and they'll just have a really fun, entertaining night, because I'm sure all the guys are going to put their all into it. Obviously, there's big shows in other parts of the UK, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Conor gets on, for example, and of course I'll be keeping my eye on all of it. But for us, we concentrate on the Boxer tournament, which is a brilliant concept. It's going to bring all the youth through, the young around the country who have not had those opportunities, and I think it's going to really appeal to the young fight fans as well. So it's a fantastic night we've got ahead in store on Saturday. Tune in and you'll be entertained from start to finish. There won't be anything dreary or slow. It's going to be hectic, frantic, intense, a bit insane. There's going to be stories. They all tell me they're going to win it, but no one can be sure. So, and you've got Michaela Mayer as well over commentating, so an extra bonus, and she's a star. So really looking forward to working with Michaela. We've got Vic Hope back, and it's fantastic. It's going to be a great night and something different, and I think that's why it appeals. But in an ideal world, you'd be able to watch all of them live. But as I said, it's difficult with arena bookings, scheduling, fighters wanting to get out. It's hard. It's hard to make it all happen. The good thing is the fighters are getting out, they're getting paid, and the fans are getting a choice.
And listening there, thank you so much for speaking to Boxing Social. Looking forward to the action this weekend.